Hello, my name is Ogen Joroge. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this season, we have been talking about, apparently, I did not have a name for it, but right now, when thinking about it, I was like, it's a singles edition series. Since I've been sharing about my relationship life and how it has been like, I will encourage you that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, comment, subscribe, all these things. Okay? And I know you'll be blessed. In this channel, I'll just be talking about Jesus, God, and everything. And so, if you're interested in something of this sort, I would encourage you that watch throughout the video and other videos I have recorded and shared my testimonies of how God has been with me during different seasons of my life. I've shared about my sickness, when I was in sickness, this journey that I was in, when God healed me of the physical wound. So I shared that I had around 1.5 inches. I had lost about 1.75 inches on my left leg, and God restored it after like 14 years. And I also shared about my inner wounds. I got hurt by things, circumstances, through the sickness. It wasn't easy. It only took God to heal me. And more often you hear me quoting Psalms 147 verse 3. That says that he heals the brokenhearted and binds their wounds, because it's him who healed my broken heart. When I try to use other means to heal it, I found myself every morning I wake up, I'll still be in pain. So I believe it's God himself who healed me through his word, through himself, me communing with him. And it was a beautiful journey. It has been a beautiful journey. And even as God allows me, I'll continue sharing as he allows me, the things that he allows me to share. Because if I have to, there's some things, personal. And you're like, how do I go about that? No. Until he allows me to share about something, I'll do that. If he has not allowed me, I'll share what he has allowed me. Anyway. So, when I'm recording this, no, I will not name the years all the time, but I've been thinking, there's a book I've been looking for. So it's a friend who shared with me. So that's what I've been thinking. And this book, the title is Lady in Waiting. So I don't know how I lost this book. It was a PDF book. And I read it twice. I don't know the author. This morning I thought the author was Elizabeth Elliot. Then I realized, no, it wasn't her. Because even when I looked for this title and Elizabeth Elliot, the books that she has written, I've not found it. So, but I hope, anyway, I'll continue looking for it so that I can recommend for you to read if you are a woman that you have been in season of waiting. Sometimes you need companion. Hey, how many times? I know I did not mention. Last week we dealt with lessons I have learned in my single season. And I did not read, I did not mention. I think now this is number 7. Lesson number 7 is that you need friends to walk with you in this journey. Oh God, how many times have I ranted to a friend of mine or friends of mine that we have been, those of us, I mentioned also some of my friends are now married. So when in our single season, how we used to gather together and rant, and not in a bad way, but sometimes it gets to that situation, you're like, what's really happening? What's really going on in my life? What is really happening in my life? And even as I was now, this book was also a companion. It's a friend of mine also who was in her single season who shared with me. And in this book, that's when by there I learned about friendships that God open doors for you to have. Most of the time, you might think they are your husband, or if you are a man, you might think they are your wife. That would be your wife, not all of them, but so every time you have to learn. And it's interesting that she gave me this book during a season I was in a situationship. Yes, so I'm getting to what I'm talking today and sharing today a testimony. This is a whole testimony. Last time I shared about the guy, I dated a guy who God said clearly, don't date this guy. And I moved on to date them, and I learned my lesson. So this one comes now. I was in a situationship. In Kenya, I think that's the basics. That's what we say, a situationship. A situationship is in layman's language, so that our people from other continents or other nations may be able to understand what I mean. So a situationship in a situation where you have been with a guy or lady, and okay, you have been behaving. Okay, when people look outside, they say you're dating. Let's say, oh, there's another language that they say bestie, bestie. So you're with this person, you do everything together. The communication is like you're dating. You even go out for dates, you do all these things. But the guy, so I'm sitting as a woman on a woman's table, chair, sorry. The guy has not said his intentions towards you, but the way the two of you have been behaving, it's like you're dating. It's like, by the way, even sometimes you get mad when they are with another person. That's crazy. So I'm in this situation. I don't think my friend knew about it. Did she know? I don't think so. Or yes, maybe she guessed, because she was like, why every time we are meeting, you're talking about this guy? Are you dating? And you're like, no, we are not dating, we are just friends. And you're like, okay, friends, and you chat all this long, friends, and you do all these things together. What's really happening? So she shares this book. I read through, I got hurt, and I was like, no, I don't think. Okay, the reason why I got hurt, it was like, because she was describing what I'm going through and what I'm doing. And actually, it wasn't right what I was doing. It wasn't right for me to be behaving with this guy like we're dating, and we're not dating, because he had not said his intentions towards me. So I just assumed in my mind, probably he likes me, probably he wants me, and all these things. And as a woman, sometimes you might, okay, I believe also men, you might be building castles in your head and thinking that you're already with this person, you see your life after. Whereas he has not stated his intentions. And on your side, okay, as a woman, I don't advocate you say, I love you the first time. No. So let me move forward to my story. So this guy, I will not mention the years, I will not mention the dates, but he was a good friend of mine. We started off as friends, and in our friendship, we started communicating more. The calls increased, the chats, and everything. And did we get to a place of going for a date? No. Yes, we never went for a date. So, but we could chat regularly, even at night, chat more often. And it got to a place where I started wondering, is this guy interested in me? Am I interested in him? But I realized I was starting to like him. But every time we're chatting and we are doing all these things, when I see him with someone else, I'll get jealous. When he sees me with someone else, he gets jealous. And I'm like, in my mind, I got confused, and I was wondering what was happening here. Because I was like, okay, you need to state your intentions. And where I stand at, where I come from, I cannot tell a guy I like him, or I want to date him. No, he has to tell me. Sorry to say, that's my opinion, and that's my stand. So every time we are in this situation and everything, it gets to a place where I started building castles in my mind, and I was like, this guy is going to marry me. He's going to marry me, but he has not stated his intention. Imagine how crazy that was. Oh god. But I remember some of these things, I laugh at myself because I'm like, why? How can you be this dumb to think that a guy who has not even stated his intention likes you, or he is interested in building a home with you, even giving children with you? So I did not stop. We continued. He started mentioning things about marriage. He's not stating what he wants, but he's just saying randomly, what ifs, and I believe what ifs cannot build a home. What ifs cannot build a relationship. No, you have to state it clearly what you're going to say. And I know you're seated there as a woman, and you have been in this kind of a situation. Let me tell you, my sister, if someone has not stated his intentions towards you, he's not interested in you. If he's, yes, taking you out and he has not stated what he really wants, okay, taking you for maybe two coffee dates or dates, and the third one, he doesn't state his intentions, I think that you are you're walking in a path that is not right, and I think you might be cheating yourself. Please don't, what do I say? This is my opinion. This is just my opinion. But just be careful. If someone is taking you out for dates, he's making long calls, he's doing all these crazy things, and he's not telling you his intentions, you need to be very careful. You either stand on your ground and ask him what's really happening, or you ghost him. Anyway, sorry. If you intend to ghost him anyway. But anyway, you need to ask, and you need to know what his intentions towards you. Because for my case, I started building castles. And one time, okay, with all these castles I started building, I was like, no, I will build this, I will do that, we will do this, we will do that. And I got convinced in my heart, he might be my husband. And I started praying towards that thing. And the more I prayed, the more I got confused. Because I don't believe, okay, I think this is God teaching me. Because I think if I never went through that kind of a situation, I could not have known I was walking I wasn't walking in the right place. Because at first, like I mentioned, I always pray for every person who comes in my life. I actually prayed for him, but God never showed me he would be my husband or something. Or I wasn't even so much interested in him in that way. I loved how the things we were doing together, but me building the castles, that's where I went wrong. And him trying to make it like to enforce us building that castle was wrong. So one time I was just in prayer, and God was like, we're giving you to surrender this guy. And I was like, surrender? God, he has been showing me all these things, all these emotions. Why are you telling me to surrender? I didn't know. Deep down, I told my friend, I'm convinced this is my guy, he will marry me, he will do all these things. And let me tell you, if you don't know, for people who have been single for a while, most of the times, there are seasons and times. If I think it's God just growing you in that season. There are seasons that where you feel really, really ready to be settled, and for some reason a guy just pops up from anywhere, or a lady pops up from anywhere, and if you're not careful, you just jump into that train or whatever. And at times, there are those times you're like, no, I don't need anyone. I just need Jesus. I just want to be with him, no one else. So I believe in my end I was in those low seasons, I believe. And the Bible tells us, okay, and already him not setting his intention and him not doing, and me just allowing myself to get into it and start building these castles. I believe I made him an idol because the Bible tells us those those who make uh, those who make idols will be like them. And also there's somewhere else that states that when you are worshiping idols, or idols can be anything. I love a certain teacher who says an idol is anything that you worship more than God, or you give more priority than God. So I was giving him so much priority and attention in this case. And also God says when you're worshiping these idols and everything, even you might go to even a false teacher, these prophets, and the word that is going to come, you might feel like it is the same word, like God is speaking through that person, whereas it's not the case, because it's because you have made an idol in your heart. So in my end, I believe it went to so much toxic from my end that I started building. I said I built castle, so I made him an idol, and for some reason on my YouTube feeds, it started bringing these prophetic words about marriages, about me getting married. Sorry, people getting married, and I bumped, I dipped myself in that bad wagon, and I was convinced and convicted this would be the guy. So every time, when I'm praying, instead of praying for my season and also praying for the guy, like my guy, I was like focused so much in this person that even my mind became blurred, so that I will not be able to listen to God or hear. Even when I'm reading the word, I'm just seeing this guy, which should not be the case. You need to be sober and clear when you're praying about someone who comes in your life, especially if their intentions is to marry you. In my case, I did not. I was just blocked. My mind was so much blocked with this guy. So God tells me this time, Wagyo, you need to surrender this guy, because I believe the way you're walking is not the right way. So one time we go out, we are meeting and gathered somewhere, and this guy comes with someone else. Remember, he had not stated his intentions towards me. He was just a good friend. And so, did we talk about it? I was like, what's happening between the two of you? Okay, later I asked him what's really happening between the two of you. And he's like, no, friend, nini, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's okay, if that's what you say. And still our conversation proceeded and everything. But it got to this point when God was really, really on my case. And he told me, you need to do this. You need to surrender fully. And I did so. And upon doing so, do you know, believe it or not, in a span of like, I surrendered, but I did not fully surrender. So full surrender means you're no longer thinking about this guy. In this case, you're not thinking about this guy ever being your boyfriend, either being anything more than just a friend. And the other thing was, if you had any commitment, or I can say words are very powerful, and maybe there are some words that you two engaged and that may have made a covenant. You also need to surrender this. So this is what I did. I did the first part, like I just surrendered. I'm like, no, blah, I don't want this guy, that's it. But it did not get to the place where me fully surrendering and telling God, I accept your will. If this guy is not my guy, I'm okay with you. So it gets to like an here. The whole thing. The guy is still, with this guy, this lady, they broke up and nothing happened. just crazy things. Our conversation, I had now to stand on my ground, and I cut all our communication. I started being now serious with God. I was like, now I need to know what you're telling me. So I connect with a friend of mine, another friend of mine, and this lady, I tell her about this situation, so this situationship, and she's like, Wagio, I don't believe that you are fully surrendered to God. You need to surrender. So I was like, okay, oh God, what do you want with me? So I remember there are this, like I said, there are covenants that you made. There are things that I said. There are things that I believed. So God was like, you need to clear it all, like in your mind. This is not the guy for you. You need to surrender and let the will of God be done. So I did this. God enabled me. I went, if there was anything that had been exchanged that was material, like I burnt it, I threw it away, and I fully surrendered to God. Do you know? Trust my word right now. Within a span of one month, not 2, not 3, not 4, no, only in a span of 1 month, this guy got in a serious relationship, got married. Right now they're married. He's married somewhere else. And to be honest, after I surrendered, my heart, God came and healed my heart, because I was like, we were in this both together. And I know if you have ever been in a situationship, it hurts as much as, yes, you knew like you were doing the wrong thing. It really hurts also. So it hurt me, but I had to surrender it to God. And I had to tell him, you need to heal my heart. You need to let go. Help me to let go of this. And you know, when I let go, within a span of 1 month, they get together, they get married. In a short period of time, they got married. And you know, I went to God with questions. I was like, God, why did you allow this guy to come in my life? With all the chats that we used to have, all the conversations that we used to have to entertain from each other, we were both single during this season. Why did it have to happen that he is now with someone else, and within a short period of time, after like I fully surrender, they got to meet with this person? And you know, the idea that came in my mind was, sometimes when you're walking in disobedience, it's a hindrance to someone else's blessings. Because I believe probably if I had surrendered fully prior, like the time that God told me, the first time that he told me, maybe as these two meeting and getting married could have been quicker. And also in my heart, I will not be confused. I will not have these thoughts that this guy might be the one, he might not be the one, you know, or even having all these crazy things. And God was like, you need to, like, how do I say it? Walk in obedience. Walk in obedience to my word and the promises that I have done for you. Because going back, even going through, I don't know if I mentioned here that most of the time God takes me through like a memory lane. Like I go through all this. Have you ever seen those movies that they go back to time? And there are things that they are seeing along the way and everything. I think what do you call it? I don't remember this cartoon, this animation. Sorry. Cartoons from the days that we came from. Right now it's animation. There's this animation that goes back to time when Turkey celebration, Thanksgiving started. And you know, they are going to through this time. They went from this time and they were like, no, this is not the time that we are supposed to go. This is not the first time. This is not. Until they went back to the first time, of the time of Thanksgiving. So sometimes God takes me through such kind of a thing. And he tells me, Wagio, you like this in a guy. Yes. You like that in a guy. You have asked me of this and that and that. And did you see it in this person? You know, to be honest with you know, when God is asking you questions, or when we are just having this conversing with God, it truth be told, sometimes it's not easy, you know, answering those questions. You're like, oh God, it's true. It's true. You're true. You're true. You're true. You're true. This is the truth that you're speaking. And there's so much that we were so much, not what made so much, but some good level percentage we are not compatible. Some good level of compatibility percentage we are not compatible. Things were not aligning. And I was reading through the book called oh my, do I want to forget right now? The book called God is a Matchmaker by Derek Prince and Ruth. And in this book, he shares that God has a plan for a marriage. Each and every marriage that is together, when two people are brought together in marriage, there is a reason for them to be together. And they have to be so much compatible spiritually, socially. There's so many ways that God has to merge them together so that they will achieve a purpose here on earth. So that's why you have to be discerning, you have to be led by the Holy Spirit who you're choosing to be your mate. Or, yes, who you're choosing to be your mate, because it's a choice that you make. You're not forced. God doesn't force you to someone. It's a choice that you're going to make. Yes, He's going to align to you the people that you're going to meet. But you have to make a choice if you want the person or you don't want the person. And that's why you have to be so much guided. That's what I was saying. Yes, you have to be so much guided. And in my case, I learned it maybe in a hard way or a simple way. But I thank God because after He opened my eyes, I was like, yes, we were not aligning in so many ways. And God led him to where they are aligned. I believe so that they are aligned. Right now, looking at them, they are aligned, I believe so. And I pray that, my desire is that, if you're working in any kind of relationship that you feel, or a situationship that you feel it's not leading in a God way, or it's not leading to where God is calling you, or even God has not led you to be in that place, or you feel you need to do step back and think things through, because God says in the book of Jeremiah that sometimes you need to go back to the crossroads and see if you're like walking the right way, because sometimes your mind can be so much blocked that you're not seeing clearly. Sometimes it calls for, like for my case, me going back to the crossroad was like I had to cut communication with this person for some months. Like I was like, God, I don't think you're leading me here. I don't think you're leading me here. Yes, we are chatting, we are calling, we are meeting, and not necessarily like on a date or something, but there are things that are not aligning. I had to like take a break with the person. I think I deleted the number. Or if I did not delete, yes, I think I deleted the number. And if in situation that I knew that we are going to meet, I will ensure how, yes, even if we meet like in a crowd or somewhere, I will not be with the person. I will be not be with the guy alone. Like I will be with other people. I will just interact with other people and not him. So you can also do the same. You can ask God, or even ask God how He wants you to go back to the crossroad. How He wants you to have a clearer picture of where He's leading you. And for someone, if you have been single for quite some while, sometimes you might feel like God is being unfair to you because like you have met this person, you feel like you're maybe compatible, or you think you need to be together, but God tells you to take a step back and so that you'll be able to see clearly. And there's something I received from my father, my earthly father. And one day he told me, I was sharing with him about this guy. Then he told me, actually this guy I was in a situationship with. And he told me, Wagio, you really sure you want to be with this person? And if you really want to be with this person, you need to remember one thing. The times that I have raised you, or the times that we have been together, God, in many cases, he blesses you to be with this person a longer period of time. So let's say you get married at 23 years old, and maybe God has it in mind that you're going to die at 70 or at 90. So imagine all these years you're going to spend with this person. That would be like 67. Is it 67 or 57? 67 years with this person. So imagine if you make the wrong choice, for 67 years you still have this person. Because maybe, the whole aspect, do you want to be separated with this person, divorced with this person? No. I believe most of us desire to be in a place where till death do us part. For us to be together until God enabled us. So you have to be, if God tells you to go back, do that. Do that sacrifice and do that step, because it will help you a lot. Because I don't think it would be nice if you're spending 67 years with someone you're not compatible with, someone who, your goals and purposes are not leading to the same place. I know God is a restorer, because probably you're already married and you're wondering, what do I do in this case and scenario? And God is a restorer, God is a helper, God is God of mercy. He says his mercies are new every morning. So you can ask for mercy, you can pray for mercy if you're already married already. But if you're not yet married, you can ask God if this is his will for you to proceed. It will help you a whole lot. And it will remove so much doubts and anxiety that you might be having. God is a merciful God. God is a good God. Many other times we don't understand what he's doing, but he's a good God. I believe the story that I have, that I was in this situationship, God helped me. It might be my mistake that I found myself in this place. The mistake also of the guy, because if you're spending so much time with this person and you don't have the intentions of marrying them, it's wrong. You need also ask for mercy. And if you're a guy and you're doing this to someone, please stop it. If you're a woman and you're leading on a guy, please stop it. If you don't have any intention to ever spend time with them. I know God is good and faithful and just. If you ask for him for mercy, he will help you. But anyway, I hope my story has encouraged you. And if you're in any kind of situationship, I pray that God is going to help you to get out of it. Get out of any situationship. Get out of where God doesn't want you to be at. If it calls for you to go back to the crossroad, go back there. It will not hurt you so much. Something that can hurt you is you spending more than 30, 40, 10, 5 years with someone that God never intended for you to be together, or leading you guys to be together. I remain to be Wagion Choroge. This is Journey with God. How do I say it? Maybe it's situationship in my single years. Yes, singlehood. He has helped me, and I know he's able to help you. I have been sharing, and I think maybe I'll share another testimony or something else about singlehood. And like I mentioned last time, being single, it's not a curse. It's a blessed season that God has gifted you. I have not yet completed, but I was reading this book. It's called Singles by Tony Evans. And even in the introduction of this book, it speaks that as a single person, God has a purpose for you in that season. So don't feel it's a wasted time. Let God use you at that time. Like I mentioned, he has used me in ways he so desires, and I know he will continue using me in so many ways that he so desires. I only have to submit to him, to his will and purpose and will. And I pray that you are encouraged. And God is going to bless you. So see you in the next one. God bless you. You're beloved of the Lord. And what else did I want to say? I encourage you. It's good even in your season of singlehood to continue seeking God. He's a helper. Even when times comes and you feel like you're feeling lonely, like when will this guy or this woman come? God is able to help you and guide you. I remain to be Wagion Joroge. Have yourself a nice time. See you in the next one.